This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hey everyone, Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. Welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. Really interesting show for you today. We're talking autonomous trucking, because Volvo Autonomous Solutions just announced that they are going to start putting real autonomous trucking miles on the road in partnership with DHL Supply Chain. We're going to talk with Jason Gillespie, Senior Director of Continuous Improvement and Innovation at DHL Supply Chain, along with Sasko Kuklev, Head of On-Road Solutions at Volvo Autonomous Solutions, to understand the partnership and what it takes to bring autonomous trucking into real life. Let's connect with them. All right, Sasko, Jason, thanks for taking the time to talk to us here. Very excited to learn more about the autonomous operation and what's happening here. So let's start there. Sasko, if you could tell me, how does this work, right? Detail the application. Does the autonomous Volvo VNL, does that haul start to finish? Is there a load handoff between DHL Supply Chain and you? How does this all work, and where do the responsibilities lie?
Yeah, it is, to simplify it, it is a load that DHL is responsible for, you can say, that has to be moved from one location, an endpoint in the Dallas area, to another endpoint in the Houston area. And that is the route that we will start with. It's between Dallas and Houston. So the load is picked up, and it's driven by a you can say manually driven truck and a driver. The first stretch, the first miles, we drive it to a specific autonomous terminal that is set up next to the highway. And in our case, we have set those up. It is Aurora terminals. Aurora is our 80 partner. So we have set up two terminals on that stretch, one in the Dallas area and one in the Houston area. So we'll drive it to the terminal with manually driven trucks. There we will swap the trailers from a manually driven to an autonomous, and then we will send it away autonomously on the highway portion, you can say, on the longer stretch to the destination area, where we do the same sort of, but the other way around. We drive into the terminal, swap again, and then deliver with a manually driven truck and driver. That is sort of from a transportation perspective. What we have also set up here, which I think is super important and something that we have been sort of vocal about from the very start, is the whole ecosystem. So there's a lot of things that have to happen in between, before, after, during. In terms of digital and IT, we need to have the infrastructure in the terminals. We need to have service and maintenance vendors in place in case something happens. We need to decide on the processes and procedures. We need to decide between Jason and my organization who is responsible for what and so on. So all of that is also included in what we call an autonomous transport solution.
Very good, Jason. What's your take on the DHL supply chain side?
Yeah. So, we from my piece of the business, I support about 4.5 billion in freight, with our customer shipments, our customers' freight. So our take has all along been with Sasko to work with them to make sure that we're maintaining the performance, that we're maintaining the safety, improving in all those areas. So that's been really key for us, is just, making sure that with this additional infrastructure, that we don't take away from anything that we're doing well today. Because as Sasko mentioned, it's picking up from sometimes DHL facilities. It might be picking up from our customer's facility, and it might be delivering to their customer's facility. So there's many players involved here, kind of behind the scenes, that are aware we're doing this and excited for it as well, because we all see the potential that autonomy can bring for classic trucks.
Right. So when it gets to that, if I can dig in here for a minute. So when it gets to the autonomous hub, to make that switch over to the autonomous VNL, then do you have a safety driver on board at this point? How does it get then from that hub then to that stretch of highway, and then is the autonomy mode enacted there? Just kind of what's that little detail process there once you pick up the load?
Yeah. So when we drive in with a manually driven truck, it will come to a specific area within the terminal where we do the swapping. And then, of course, we need to make sure that the autonomous solution is ready to haul and do pre-trip inspections, whatever safety measures, checklists, and all of that has to happen. Then we do the autonomous transportation with the safety driver. Yes, so we start with that. We have sort of hauled goods together with DHL for quite some while, actually, according to this autonomous process, where we have been running all the steps, but we have done the transportation with a truck and a driver, but in order to test. And now what we are doing now, and this is a big milestone for us, is to start to introduce autonomous driving on the middle mile portion, and it is with a safety driver. So that is what you can say is happening at the terminal. So we drive in with a manual-driven truck, we swap the trailers, we set up the autonomous solution, we have a safety driver behind it, and then it drives autonomously the whole way to the destination terminal, you can say.
Yeah, critically, it leaves that hub autonomously, right? The safety driver is in the vehicle, but won't intervene unless needed, right? So that's key because it won't work if we only can do it when we're on the highway, right?
Oh, okay.
That driver can't eat, right? So the driver manually, until you get to that hub, they will do an enhanced pre-trip because, we don't want to get pulled over by DOT to have to, because of a tail light or something. So you want to make sure that very enhanced, rigorous pre-trip is done. There's security measures. So there's a lot of extra steps that Sasko mentioned that we need to make sure as part of this overall ecosystem of the solution are in place so that it can go driverless in the long run without the safety driver. Yeah.
Right. Well, and two things there that really stick out to me. One is as this process rolls out, there are a lot of people surrounding it, right? It's not, I know we can dream up some stuff with technology, but still many people involved, those double checks on that side. And also, Sasko, to your point, doing this before the implementation of the autonomous driving too, that connection of the companies and putting all that in place, that's super interesting. Sasko, we'll start with you too. Like, what are you hoping to learn? Like, so you've been doing this for a while together. Now you're going to implement the autonomous portion of it. What kind of questions are you hoping to learn on the Volvo autonomous solution side?
Yeah, a lot of things, of course. Ultimately what we want to do here is to be able to move the freight together with DHL so that it arrives in time. Of course, safety is crucial for us when we do that. As I mentioned, we have set up the processes and the procedures that we believe need to be in place. We have started to test that with the manually driven truck and driver. But I think it's first now when we introduce the autonomous piece where we can really see what will happen in that flow. So it will not, especially in the beginning when, it's early days still, things will happen. We need to kick in a backup solution. We need to maybe have roadside assistance. We need to engage with our dealers, tire vendors. All of that will really need to be tested now because when we go driverless, fully driverless, all of that has to work and all players have to be sort of lined up. The ecosystem has to be up and ready. Everyone needs to know what exactly has to happen in this scenario and in this scenario, in this scenario. And that is the period that we go into now where we can really evaluate and test and prove the full ecosystem. So a lot of learnings, of course.
Yeah. Jason, what about you on the DHL side?
Yeah, Sasko hit the big ones for sure. Sustainability is one we're excited about, less idling, less heavy or harsh acceleration and braking. With a more kind of consistent, again, every driver, no matter how good the driver, you can be tired, you can have a bad day, you can be hungry, there's all these, you get a phone call with bad news or a text you didn't like. So these are the things that won't impact the autonomous driver. Sasko mentioned some of those edge cases, where we don't exactly know how we're going to deal with when there's some new event that happens and everything. So testing all that out so that ultimately we get to where we are comfortable, not only between DHL Supply Chain and Volvo and our customers, but with the public, right? The public perception that isn't going to be afraid of this and it is going to be ready for it, and to see and know that these trucks have been driving up and down Texas highways for months, if not years at that point.
Right, and to that point, I think we all do a good job of talking about the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? But I think something you've highlighted here too is really that we've talked about and touched on before in the industry, but haven't really dived into, is that efficiency component, right? That's how we talk about every other piece of equipment, is how much more efficiency can I eke out of this? I think that'll be a really interesting bullet point too, to see how it kind of takes that bell curve and smooths that over from that driver point of view. On that DHL supply chain side then, I mean, you've noted a number of things here, but what's really driving the need for these autonomous trucks, and why is it important in your organization to be one of these early adopters?
DHL, we are a big innovator. We are an early adopter. We have innovation centers where you can go see how our robots interact with our humans in warehouses today. Right now, that's not the future. That's been here for some time. So we've been ready for that and have embraced it. The push is the driver shortage. That problem does not seem to be resolving itself anytime soon, and freight overall continues to increase. Nearshoring and everything that's going on is just changing it a little bit. We're doing more cross border. So there's that big push on the driver's side to know that I'm not going to have any issue with replacing a current human driver today because I can barely keep up with the demand as it is. So that's a big part of it. But yeah, it is we culturally, that's one thing we liked about Volvo's approach and how well we fit together is their drive towards innovation with their focus on safety. It's almost exactly DHL's culture when it comes to that. Yep.
Right. Very cool. And Sasko, what's it mean to have a partner, right? I mean, this isn't, a lot of people will talk about it, but then when you get to the point of like, okay, well, let's do this, right? You really you start learning about each other in new and different ways, right? What's it mean to have a partner that you can really work with?
No, but that is everything for us. DHL and our customers are the most important sort of stakeholder person for us. So we early on said that let's not think that we should figure this out by ourselves. We should join forces with our customers and the broader ecosystem and together figure out what this will mean and how it will play out. So that is key for us. We early on identified DHL as one of the customers that we wanted to approach and see if they're interested. As Jason, you were into it. You are a leader in innovation. We have a long sort of history of collaborations together. I think when we met with you and Jim the first time, we felt like directly that we clicked. You're not a customer that expects that this solution should be ready. Like, here you go, use it. You know that we are in a stage where we are setting this up, and that is the type of customers we want to engage with, because we don't have all the answers. And I don't think you have either, Jason, but if we join forces, and not only us two, but also other players, we will figure it out. And that has been our approach from the very start here to do that. We will not do this together. We have to do it together with our customers and partners.
Right. Well, I appreciate both of you taking the time to do this with me and help me understand how this is rolling out. I look forward to talking with you both more. As you get more autonomous miles out there on the road, we will talk to you again very soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Looking forward to it.